he is gonna let me take over. Just likes doing the headlands because they're a little tricky in this field.
Well, you don't like doing headlands.
I know. I'm just trying to make myself look better. This is my vlog. We did something really cool this year. We grew black beans, so edible human consumption black turtle beans, and they have become my favorite little thing to see grow and to harvest. And I just wanna show you them before we take our last load to town. I actually want to get a bag and keep some back because they are super cool. So I want to show you guys. Oh, please don't fall, please don't fall, please don't fall. Okay. How cool. Okay, so the whites here are splits, which happens when the beans get a bit dry, and when the combine's doing its thing, it can actually split the beans. So black beans are cool because they're black, matte black, like little jelly beans, but the inside are white, which is weird because when you cook them, like in chili, they're all black. So I asked Mark yesterday, I'm like, why do they stay black? And he wonders if, you know, when they're soaked in a can or whatever, maybe the black pigment goes all the way through it. So if someone knows the answer to that little random question, comment below. But how beautiful are those? I'm just so used to soybeans and white beans, and my dad used to grow kidney beans, so I was used to them, but these are just blowing my mind. I am obsessed. I can't stop playing with them. It took us a couple afternoons to harvest the black beans. There was only 68 acres and really nice conditions. Everything was good. We had a little bit of rain yesterday morning, but it really didn't set us back too much. So we finished up that last night and cleaned out the combine, and we actually started planting some winter wheat. So we plant wheat after beans typically in a good rotation. So I'm gonna finish that up this morning. Chris is here doing my chores, which is nice. I get an early start on the day. We want to get the wheat in so we can go back to Brett's today and finish off his soybeans, or the soybeans that are ready, because he wants to get his winter wheat in today. It's supposed to get quite a bit of rain tonight, and actually it's looking catchy all next week. It seems to be the way of the last couple of years. Wet spring, dry summer, wet harvest. And it's really hard on the nerves. However, we're gonna get through it, we're gonna push through it, and we're gonna stay positive. I bagged some of the black beans because a couple things. My friend Romy actually dyes her wool. So she asked me for a few, and she said she would dye some wool for me. So that's pretty cool. A use that I had no idea you could use black beans for. The other is I'm gonna keep some back and try to be domestic. So that should be fun. They might be sitting for a while. I wanna soak them and use them in something. Salsa, brownies. I've made black bean brownies and they were really good. Yeah, chili. There's a ton of different uses of black beans, so I am so excited. This is like my new obsession. And we made them, we grew them. That's the coolest thing. We did keep some seed, some wheat seed back this year, and we got it treated. Friends of ours treats wheat seed. So what we do, we have it in this wagon. I will attempt to show you. Well, I went to attempt and the tarp is still up, so I'll just show you here. So we just get the wheat treated. So this is the stuff we harvested a couple months ago, I guess now. And we kept a couple wagons back so we could plant our own. I think we're planting probably between 400 and 500 acres of winter wheat if we can get the conditions. So we're praying it doesn't go too wet on us. We back up the drill and it'll park here, and we just run this auger, this little gas motored auger, and it works quite well. We also have a fertilizer kit on our drill, and we put on, it's called pop-up fertilizer. So we'll put down a little nitrogen with the crop. The problem with once we're done harvesting, when you take off a crop, it takes a lot out of the soil. So we have to, when we're planting something back into it, we like to put stuff in the soil with it. So whether that's manure or a little bit of synthetic fertilizer. So we're gonna throw in some, it's pop-up fertilizer. So it's called pop-up because it helps the plant pop up. So we're pretty amazing at naming things. So we fill the drill up at the same time we fill it with seed. We will pump in a little bit of that nitrogen. Do I open this first?
The front end going. I can stay on. I think it's closed.
likes doing the headlands because they're a little tricky in this field.
Well, you don't like doing headlands.
I know. I'm just trying to make myself look better. This is my vlog.
Okay.
I want to show you guys something. We have neighbor sheep farmers and they're doing some cool stuff. So that there is sorghum Sudan grass. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
And they planted that because they tried to get their alfalfa in this spring, and because they couldn't get it in time, they were concerned it wouldn't establish. So they grew this, and that's the second cut. They've already taken a cut off that. It's friggin' huge. So we're actually looking at, we're gonna talk to Jamie about maybe putting that in our ration, just as an option. snow. And so far, knock on wood, everything seems to be going okay. I have a few things I have to look at. I'll show you. First of all, I have to make sure my GPS is all good. So I'm on the right path, which is good. And then these are all my tubes that I have to make sure stay green. If any go red, that means I've got a plug and I gotta get out and figure it out. But everything looks okay. I have to make sure the gauges are good. And yeah, one's way back there, which is hard to see. But everything looks okay. Mark really did most of this field. This is a field literally of headlands. We laugh, we've got a few like that. They're really kind of irritating when you're planting and when you're harvesting, or when you're doing anything. A little thing on these harvest videos, do you guys, I need your help a little bit, I need some feedback, and some of you have been really good at giving it to me with me not even asking. Do you prefer the commentary? Like, do you want me to talk about what we're doing, or would you rather just me show the visuals and have some captions just saying what we're doing? Because me as a viewer, I like having a conversation with a person, so I like it when the person's talking, as long as it's not like long-winded and, you know, saying the same thing over and over, which I tend to do. I tend to ramble. So let me know in the comments, do you guys, for the harvest videos, do you rather you just want to see the equipment, or do you want to see the mug? And if you don't, no offense taken at all. If you guys can see it, but there's a helicopter legit. Oh, you can't see because of my stupid dirty windows. Right there, just hovering, literally hovering. So random. Hydro poles in the middle of the fields are silly, really silly. Why there? Why could they put them right there? I'm sure that's what potentially he's saying as well. So it's a bit of a gong show. We're getting chased around by the drill. It's supposed to rain. It was calling for rain up till 10 o'clock tonight, and they have changed the forecast. 80% chance at 7. Right now it's 20 after 2, and we're just nicely opening up this field. They have a 15-foot drill, 15-foot drill, and like 60 acres to get done before 7. So anyways, I'm following Mark closely behind, so I'm not trampling their wheat. It's just very confusing for this bucky driver.
Just wait till Brett comes back with that next set, because they'll probably leave it hooked onto the tractor.
I'm far. got like, I might be half full. You're gonna pull me now, later, auger in, auger out. What are we gonna do? I've learned over 20 years of driving the buggy to just wait for the auger. Don't keep asking questions because he gets annoyed. Not because he's a mean guy, just because I'm annoying. Communication. Hello. So I was given this book by someone who follows me on Instagram. I don't know if you can see that. Alicia Wells Stroop. And number one, to get me to even sit to read requires this job because it's soybeans, and driving the buggy in soybeans is torture. This arrived in the mail yesterday, and I knew by reading the intro and the back that I have a lot in common with this girl. I've literally read 22 pages, and I feel like we were separated at birth. I feel like we're the same person, and that we're married to the same person. There's a few quotes that her husband says, and I'm like, oh my god, my husband said that not 10 minutes ago. Well, that was fun. A little early downpour. Driving like way too fast in a bumpy field. To get the corn out of Mark. I don't know what it's gonna do. We're gonna check the radar. Oh my god. I think he's gonna risk it. Yep. Yeah, we had to shut down. The beans are starting to mud tag now, so there's been enough dust all day on the combine, on everything in the air, and then just that little downpour was enough to create mud on these beans, and these are IP beans. Yeah, they're not crusher, so we have to be very careful on our quality, and if they're mud tagged, you get docked. So we shut it down for literally a 3-second little downpour, and we only have maybe 7 acres, 10 acres, I don't even know. So